So in these percent problems, we're going to determine, number one, whether we're having what is called a percent increase or a percent decrease, meaning is the amount going up or is the amount going down? And then we're going to figure out what is the amount going up or down by. And so the first part is that a percent increase or decrease is really easy. All you do is look at the original amount. In this first problem, the original amount is 20. The final amount is 23. And because the amount goes up from 20 to 23, this is a percent increase. The amount goes up, we are increasing. The part where we have to do some math is what is the increase by? And we're going to use a proportion here. And in order to solve this using a proportion, we first need to know what was the actual amount it increased by. And finding the amount of increase is pretty simple. It's a basic subtraction problem. To go from 20 to 23, the increase was by 3 because 23 minus 20 is 3. The amount of increase was 3. And so we're going to set up our proportion by doing the change over the original amount. That is how we're going to figure out the percent increase, the change over the original amount, which in this problem is going to be the change of 3 over the original amount, which was 20. Great. Now a proportion has to have two ratios, and 3 over 20 is our first ratio. Our second ratio is what we're going to be using to find the percent. And the percent is going to be what is the rate out of 100, because percent means out of 100. Percent means from 100. And we've done many, many problems like this. This is a cross products problem. So we're going to take the numerator of the first problem and multiply it by the denominator of the second problem, so 3 times 100. And we're going to set it equal to the cross product going the other way. The denominator of the first multiplied by the numerator of the second, 20 multiplied by r. So as nearly as I can tell, 3 times 100 is 300. And so we're going to do the division property of equality, dividing both sides by 20 to isolate the variable. This is the division property of equality. And 300 divided by 20 is pretty simple to do. We can cancel out the zeros on the end, and 30 divided by 20 is 15. So 15 is the rate, which means it is a 15% increase. Great, 15% increase. There's no reason for us to change that 15 into a percent because our ratio that we did was r over 100. The actual number we get is already out of 100, meaning it is already a percent. Okay, let's go ahead and try it with the second problem that we're given. The original is 25 and the final is 17, and this is a percent decrease. And the amount of the decrease is going to be 8. Because our final was 17. We started at 25. That means we went down 8. So just like in the previous problem, our original ratio is going to be the amount decrease over the original. And to figure out the percent, we're going to set that equal to r over 100. It's fine for us to use just a positive 8 here if you like. I'm going to use a negative 8. It's going to make my percent come out negative, and that's just going to remind me that it is a percent decrease. I already wrote it up here at the top that it's a percent decrease, but leaving it as a negative 8 is just going to make sure that I don't make a mistake at the end and forget that this is a decrease, not an increase. The math is the same. Numerator times denominator, so 8 times 100 is 800. And then going the other way, it's 25 times r. So 25r. And again, we're going to do the division property of equality. To get the solution, we're going to divide both sides by 25. And 800 divided by 25, sorry, negative 800 divided by 25 is actually negative 32. And so what we're going to say is that this is a 32% decrease. And there we go. 32% decrease is our answer. So that's percent increase and percent decrease. Both times we set up a proportion with the amount of the increase or decrease over the original equal to r over 100, and a cross product gives us the percent.